All right, we are here. I'm going to just give everyone a second to get in here. I'm going to explain what is going on. We don't have the full opinion yet, but we should be getting it soon. So this video will be a little bit short. This live stream will be a little bit short because we don't have the opinion. I am waiting for it to come out, but we do have a decision by a panel of 3 judges in the circuit court in Texas. So this is what we know. There is an injunction against the pistol brace rule, but it only applies to the plaintiffs, which are William Mock, Firearms Policy Coalition, and also Maxim Defense. So it was a 3-judge panel out of the 5th Circuit Court of Appeals. I am pulling up the makeup of the 3-judge panel right now. I guess it was a couple Trump judges on there. And yeah, so a couple Trump judges and 2 Trump judges and 1 Bush judge, which was a perfect makeup of this. Dark, you can jump on if you want. Rich will not be on, but Dark will be. All right, so this only applies to the plaintiffs, but what does this mean for everyone else? Okay, so the circuit court, the 3-judge panel, decided that the plaintiffs are likely to secede on the merits of the case, which is good because that kind of gives us a hint of where the circuit court lies. But there's also other cases coming behind this that can reference this. For example, the Texas versus ATF case, which is the Geo8 case, they can go in and reference this decision and ask for a nationwide injunction, because this shows that at least the 3-judge panel of the circuit court believes that at the very, very, very minimum, that the plaintiffs are likely to secede on the merits of the case. And they are arguing that the case is not that strong. So right now I'm trying to get the whole entire decision, but I don't have the decision, the actual opinion yet. I just have the decision. So the circuit court has ruled that the defendants are likely to secede on the merits of the case. And yeah, so this is a really good thing for our side. This shows us where the court is leaning. And now think about this. GOA in Texas are asking for a temporary restraining order. The state last night, just at the deadline, just at midnight Central Time, submitted their response. Now the judge is going to read through that and see if and decide if he's going to issue a temporary restraining order. A temporary restraining order comes back quicker than a preliminary injunction. So it doesn't help us directly, but it strengthens a case right behind this. So yeah, that's it. So this is why in my thumbnail it said for the plaintiffs, because it's just for the plaintiffs, but it is good. It will help us So the pistol brace rule for the plaintiffs are on hold, but it can be expanded very, very easily. So it's not as big as a nationwide injunction, but it is big enough to actually strengthen the GOA case, the Texas case that is coming up behind there. And also the SAF case and the FRAC case can all reference this because they're all asking for an injunction or asking for a temporary restraining order. And I have DLD After Dark on.
1 sec.
Okay, he said 1 sec, so he'll be there. So I know we can't count on it helping the rest of us, but it is a good thing.
Sorry,
All right.
my settings were off.
All right, no problem. What's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? This is semi good news we got
Yeah,
here.
it's semi good news. It's not the big breaking, it's a nationwide injunction, but it sets the foreground for that, and it also shows what the circuit court is likely to do. Now, remember, this is only a 3-judge panel. They can go to an en banc. They can ask for an en banc, but they're going to lose at the en banc stage because, bump stocks won 13-3.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too because I was just looking at the amount of people that have complied, and some people had said that there were, 2 to 4, 4 to 10, 10 to 40 million braces out there, and a lot of people aren't also taking into consideration how many braces have been 3D printed, which there are probably millions of those too. But either way, um, there's less than 200,000 Form 1s submitted for for their little compliance for their free $200 amnesty stamp. So I find it pretty interesting that it's almost like we're even
It is
regardless of what
breaking. I
happens
mean, they
here.
don't have the decision out.
Regardless of what
I
happens here, we're looking at a mass non-compliance. Um, either way, we're looking at mass non-compliance. So I think it's all good news.
Yeah, it is definitely all good news. I'm
Yeah,
just waiting for the freaking.
and of course, it shows us the potential positioning of the future. This could be a really good thing for the future.
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it is. It is, and it's going to help out a lot of people here.
Yeah. No, Blake Rust, I agree. He says that's too many. I was blown away that many people actually form one. Did their little amnesty form one. I'm not going to tell anybody what to do. That's completely up to them.
All right, I get the decision coming over right now, guys.
Okay.
So I'm going to be able to pull it up in a second. And I got it. All right. So
Gonna be billions have been printed.
who knows? That's the beauty of
Yeah.
the beauty of this whole thing.
Yeah.
All right.
That's the beauty of 3D printing. It's the beauty of 80s, as you see in the back here, which I'm proud of my polymer 80 wall. I'll say that. I mean, I'm not done yet, but
Keep on building them.
yeah.
You know why I build them, right? I don't shoot them. I just build them to build them just because.
I enjoy building them as well.
All right. So we're going to go through this live here.
200,000 liberal gun owners, 200,000 people that are just plain stupid. Oh man, it's not even a free stamp. There's a stamp for amnesty. Yeah, that's correct. It's what's the tax forbearance? I think it's called. It's not even
Forbearance.
forbearance. That's what it is. Forbearance. Yeah,
For
it's pretty
Bowden.
whack.
That's like a Germany thing. You might not want to say that. I don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
It sounds like a German thing to me. All right, I'm going to open up the actual thing now in here. And we are the first to go live with this, by the way, guys. So yeah, there's that.
It looks like Guns
Open.
and Gadgets just went live.
Yeah, I know. I can't. I talked to him. I let him know.
Yeah.
I,
I build more
I'm gonna go
PAs,
live.
but they're expensive. Yeah.
Jared and I we trade information. So
Yeah.
just give me 1 second here. I'm going to
So
open up.
for the new people that just came in here, could you kind of explain the process of like where we are right now, how we got here?
Okay, how we got
Because
here is
you gained like 60 people. They probably don't know.
yeah. Okay, so FPC has an injunction, but it only applies to the plaintiffs. It's a circuit court injunction, which is good because it shows the way the circuit court is probably leaning, and also that uh, it can be used in other cases um, that are coming up. For example, the pistol brace case, like the GOA case. Sorry, just
Yeah.
trying to get this.
This is a good point too. So, anyone that's gotten a tax stamp, there is a portion. It says approved, and then it says approved with restrictions. I was curious if there are compliers. I mean, if there are people out there that did the amnesty stamp. I was curious what it actually said. Like, does it say that there are restrictions? Does it say specifically what? Um, the restrictions are? Does it say that the brace has to remain on it? Does it say that it's not? And then a whole nother thing is they said that simply just removing the brace is not a way to comply. And
Yeah,
then
you have to. You have to. That's they were clearing up. All right, so this is what we have here. This is
but
the
hold on really
order.
quickly. Dettelbach said in his testimony that simply removing the brace
Yeah, they're
and
saying that he misspoke.
okay, now in
So
the ATF's response, they even said that if you wanted to remove the amnesty stamp SBR off of the, if you wanted to remove it from SBR configuration, simply removing the brace was a way to do it.
well, not anymore.
That's
They
so
went back.
ridiculous. How
So
can
this
they do this?
I don't know, but this is what we have right here so far. So this is a memorandum to party council below, and this is to expedite briefing, and right here it is the unpublished order that it is ordered that appeal is expedited for the next or remanded for the order that the appellate's opposed motion for a preliminary injunction pending appeal is granted as to the plaintiffs in this case. So they're going to hear this like like an emergency soon, and until that gets heard, they are saying that they're granting an injunction. So right now, I'm trying to figure that out right now if it applies to FBC members, because I think the FBC is
Yeah,
going to get a lot of new members.
for sure. Yeah, that's what Justin Sordahl just asked FPC members. I imagine he's asking if it extends to FPC members because when the temporary injunction was granted to Polymer 80, it extended to Polymer 80, all of its distributors, all of its customers, everyone that
Yeah,
would
but in there it said
buy,
that
sell, resell, purchase.
okay, so yeah, so it probably does apply. And take this with a grain of salt because hey, they can come back and decide, oh, it only applies to the actual people listed in the case. But since it says that it applies to the members, FBC is saying yes, it applies to FBC members. So
Okay, that's a big deal.
yeah. So if you're a member of FBC, you are have an injunction, or you can go apply to get membership to FBC today or whatever. So this is going to help them, and hopefully the other cases build on top of that. So this is a big deal.
Yeah. Dang.
But since this is not a full thing, this is just putting injunction on until the emergency like appeal is heard. That it's only granted until then. And I'm looking up right now, trying to figure out. I'm doing this on the fly, guys. So I'm
It's all good,
trying to
man.
figure
Take your time.
out when it will be shuttle file April. Which unopposed. So unopposed. No, 23rd. Yeah. So
It's from a law is only a law if the mass public conforms with mass noncompliance, wouldn't make the law no longer a law. I mean, honestly, it's not even a law. It is
a
the
rule, but it's a de
yeah,
facto law.
the that's the thing. That and here's why this is so dangerous. I know we've had the deference conversation 1,000 times, but the reality is that this is the ATF making an opinion, and then the opinion is turned into a rule, and then the rule is categorized under whatever 18 USC section whatever, and then they have the entire full force of the federal government and all of its penalties behind an opinion, and then they speak on it, and then they even, like someone mentioned, it doesn't matter what they say, it matters what's in the writing. They literally 2 weeks ago put in writing that simply removing the brace would remove it from the SBR. Like, if somebody were to use the amnesty stamp, register a pistol with the stabilizing braces and SBR, sounds so stupid to say, if they were to do that, simply removing the brace would allow them to travel, take it into another state. They could then remove it from the registry. So if it's sufficient enough to remove it from the registry, why wouldn't it be sufficient enough for compliance? They cannot keep doing this toggle back and forth and change their mind with 10 years in prison and $250,000 in fines on the line for people that make an error or a misjudgment, or let's say they listen to some random dude on YouTube and they're like, "Oh, I'm going to do that."
I deny as I identify as an FBC member for the ATF to deny that is literally racism.
Very good point. 2023, you can do that.
They can do that, whatever. Sorry, I got messages coming in quick and fast here.
No, you're good. Come out and PLA says, "So we injuncting today?" Yeah, don't comply. Hey, it's up to you. Everybody makes their own personal decision, right? I will tell you right now that though I have stamps from the past, I have not registered a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
That's a pay for rates, of course,
Hey, hold on.
100%.
Somebody keep on calling me over and over again.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead. FPC is gonna have the entire country as members for real. Hey, Chris from the 740, man. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Let's see. I missed a couple chats here. Let's see. Yeah, this is good. I like that, Joe. Hancock and Adams were domestic terrorists, not compliant. So that's the thing. If we're looking at, this is what I mentioned earlier, if we're looking at, you know, 10 plus million, I think, what was it, 2 to 4 million was more of a realistic number.
No, I think it's at least 4 million, but under 10.
Okay, so 4 to 10 million,
Like 4 to 10 million.
roughly.
Yeah, there's at least 4 million because
Not that that's common use, right? Like, what was tasers? Tasers was like 8,000 or something like that.
I don't think
Here,
it was quite 8,000, but yeah, basically we know that SB Tactical between 2019 and 2022 sold 3 million braces alone. and they've been selling them
Okay.
since 2014. And there's other, and there's other manufacturers. So 40 million. That was taken. Alex Bosco, the owner of SB Tactical, said that on a podcast. I think it was on Colleen O'Rourke, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
And everyone ran with that. I think he was being hyperbolic, and I don't think that there's actually 40 million out there.
Ammo's Currency says that tasers was 200,000, if I
Yeah,
remember correctly. Might have been 20,000, but it started with a 2. I should have read all that.
yeah, I think it was 200,000.
Dark thoughts. Thoughts on what? Let me see here.
Dark. I have no idea.
Okay, as far as just taking off the brace, off the pistol, and wrap the buffer tube with glue and paracord, would that solve the issue? And nothing
Well,
is gonna.
that's not permanently. It has to be permanently altered.
Yeah. So I can't give advice, right?
No, I
Neither.
can't. But I'm just saying that it says permanently being altered is glue
Yeah,
and paracord that could be removed.
100%. I think neither John or myself. John Crump News, John Crump Live, and DLD After Dark do not give advice. If you take advice from us, you're stealing. Shout out to CRS. We miss you and love you. But the thing is someone's best bet would probably be to completely remove the braces and then take them somewhere else to a far, far away land and then make whatever adjustments and changes that you need to your firearms if you intend on
No.
complying.
All you have to do, I mean, if you take the brace and this is according to ATF. I was on the conference call. If you take the brace and you give it to a friend to hold, and they don't have a gun to use it on, then it's not uh, a constructive intent
Okay, but
because
let's say this. So then let's say so
they
I
probably
have
could do a
a
conspiracy.
I have a little, LWRC 10.3 inch 556, right? With the SB Tactical PDW style brace. So let's say I pull that brace piece off and then I give it to, my friend in, wherever, let's say a different state, all right? And that should be good, right? But my receiver extension on that LWRC can still accept a brace if I were to get it back or find another one. Or I feel that the ATF has been so petty that they would still 100% charge somebody if the receiver extension could still accept a brace. Now, that's just my opinion. I don't know. Um, that's just my opinion. Do you,
Yeah, I
do you
don't know
think they
either,
would? What do you think
but
would be most safe? To swap out the receiver extension or just to and again, we're not giving uh advice, we're just having a conversation.
yeah, we are. But what I think that people should do is look at their own situation and decide for themselves what they want to do.
So for this, Robert Tanner, he says, if I own a brace but have no barrels less than 16 inches, what do I do with the brace?
And
They've
it's just the ATF is considering it a stock, so therefore you don't have FBR to put it on. Therefore,
exactly.
it's only considered a stock, and then you don't have anything to worry about.
Yeah, you from what I understand, you could keep it on your firearm, you could use it, you could do whatever. It doesn't fall into the SBR category. The reason, like John said, the reason this is an issue is because they are categorizing pistol stabilizing braces as stocks. So any brace is going to be considered a stock. So if no barrels on rifles are less than 16 inches and no barrels on shotguns are less than 18 inches, it wouldn't matter.
Stonks.
Stonks.
Yeah.
Yes. A
So
dimpled
this is a
receiver
good
is a
day for
machine gun.
FPC members. I'm sure they're going to get a lot of new members today. Um, so yeah, if you don't want to I mean, I'm a DOA guy through and through, but if you want to own a brace and you don't want to register it, maybe it's time to look at Firearms Policy Coalition if it comes right down to the wire. But then you're in the situation where you might there might be a nationwide injunction.
Now, do you think this would apply to members that were already with him, or you think there was going to be a timeline on it at all?
Yeah, it's that. See, that's not the clear part. I mean, that's not the clear part, and that's up to interpretation. They never make crap clear, which is
I mean, that's their
sucks.
intention. That is by design. They do it to be as ambiguous and confusing as possible. A-Dub's very good point. As Hoover's case has shown, he's referring to Matt Hoover of CRS Firearms, a good friend of both of ours. As Hoover's case has shown, it doesn't matter what you do. The AFT will serve and protect the out of you 100%. Lawful or not,
Yep,
doesn't
that
matter.
that is true.
They do not care. So does the injunction apply to all FPC members?
It looks like it applies to all FBC members right now. Of course, the ATF can disagree and make the court make that ruling, but it's very there's a very strong argument that says it does.
So some people in the chat are saying it only applies to named plaintiffs in the case.
Well, FBC is
Is a named
named
plaintiff.
in the case,
Mm,
so that would apply to FBC members. They are going to argue that it does
yeah.
to the plaintiffs in the case. It's not saying named plaintiffs; it's saying to the plaintiffs in the case.
Fred says, yes, they do. Hold on. Sorry. Fred says, yes, they do not make stuff clear, so they can make you a felon tomorrow. Boomy says, if I put a full length barrel on my Shockwave, can I also put a full stock on it, essentially turning it into just a regular standard 590?
Yeah, you
I
can
mean,
do that. Okay, now the shockwaves is an interesting thing, right?
yeah, yeah.
When they passed the rule, they came out and said that uh, shockwaves that are braced, not with the bird's head, but with it, are SBSs automatically, and there's no way to register that because they were never meant to be fired with a single hand. So there's that.
Okay. Can you tell me who fires a pistol with a single hand?
Well, that's the definition of a pistol.
I know. It's just so stupid.
Yeah. So
Ronnie,
the
sweetest
shockwave.
neighbor.
Okay. Let's talk about the shockwave really,
Yeah. It's a
really quick
Title
here.
One firearm.
It's the Title I firearm. There is a SBR. I mean SBS under the. It's an SBS under the GCA, but not an SBS under the NFA.
That makes absolutely no sense.
Well, there's a little gray area in between the two, the GCA definition and the NFA definition. If you read the definitions, they're not the same.
Sorry, I'm reading through chat. G&G just clarified the injunction. What was there something that we missed? Sorry, I'm
Yeah,
reading
it
through
just
here.
showed up.
BS.
There is an injunction against the pistol brace for the plaintiffs in the case, the mock case, which is the FBC case.
Very good point. Quicks says firing with one hand is the legal definition. Of course. I mean, I'm just being a smartass. Though if we don't like it, we need the law changed.
Yeah, it is only for the plaintiffs in the case.
Yeah. Yeah. Good luck with changing that law. Sorry, I'm a little bit of a
That's
skeptic.
why if you look at my thumbnail, maybe I get it. Oh, it's also in the description. Mock gets an injunction against the pistol brace, against pistol brace. I guess ruling. I left out ruling for plaintiffs.
Well, I mean, your content is you discussing it for 30 minutes so far. So I'm sure people will understand when they watch it.
Yeah, yeah.
Most people will understand. Somebody mentioned that one of the VRF 14. I'm not sure. I have no experience with the. I think it's the Rock Island 12 gauge.
Yeah.
It's like I think it's a Title One firearm. I'm not sure though. Somebody's gonna chew
The
me out.
VRF 14.
Yeah, you want to pull it up?
Yeah, I know what it is. It's it's basically
It's like an
a,
AR style semi-auto shotgun.
yeah, but it's a title. It still falls into that little area. What it is, instead of having a bird's head on the back, it has
Mhm.
a place for a sh- a a
Receiver
strap.
extension.
Not from a receiver extension. It actually has a little place where you can take a sling and wire it through.
So a bunch of them that I had seen
Do
was
I think there will be another injunction nationwide? I believe that that is very likely. I cannot say for sure, but I can say it is very likely that it will happen.
boom. Fred nailed it. What good is a law when the tyrannical alphabet boys only have to use opinion? That's the terrifying thing. That's literally why my business exists, because they changed their mind. They changed the definition for the unfinished frames and receivers.
The ruling, I'm going to give everyone the ruling. I'm going to link it right now, and it's a short ruling. It doesn't give any type of like reasoning. It just says, "Hey, this is stayed for the plaintiffs until we c- we can hear it."
Good question. Quicks, was this supplemental injunction? Yes. The judge say they are likely to succeed on their merits.
Yeah,
Well, that
but
is part of
in
the
order to get an injunction, you have to be likely to succeed on the merits, and there has to be
yeah,
irreparable harm.
yeah.
I do believe the maximum defense showed irreparable harm because that can shut down their business, and they've already had to fire 13 people because of the rule.
Who
All right.
who
Well,
did?
I mean, I think we're beating the dead horse as it is right now.
Yeah. Hold on for clarity. Who had to fire 13 people?
Maximum defense.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you read
Wow.
their filing, they talk about that.
The Shockwave can have a pistol grip as long as the overall length along the bore is 26 inches or greater. Yeah, I mean, you guys just got to take a look at the GCA and the NFA. Make sure you're following the rules if you choose to comply, and that's it.
Yeah.
Oh,
All
look at that.
right. Oh,
Chris from the
thank
740.
you so much, Chris from the 740. Heading back to work. Thank you for keeping us updated. No problem, buddy. All right.
We'll actually be on Chris's show on Christmas 740 in June, so be on the lookout for that. And John, thank you for bringing this to our attention. I had no idea. I just saw the alert and was like, "Oh shit!" So I appreciate that. Or "Oh shucks," sorry, appreciate that. And yeah, check me out.
Yeah,
Although
I
I
see
am
people saying
banned
that
on
it's only
YouTube right
for the
now
named
for my
plaintiff,
4th strike.
but it doesn't say name. It says preliminary injunction of appeal is granted as to the plaintiffs in the case. It doesn't say named plaintiffs.
Say it again. I think
It says
my
if you
Wi-Fi
look
is
at the I'll
going in
bring it
and
up.
out.
People are saying named plaintiffs, but it says plaintiffs. So let me find this here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. It's for the
Sorry, my
as
Wi-Fi
for
is
the
going in and
plaintiffs
out.
in the case. It's not saying a name plaintiff. So it is only for the plaintiffs, but there's a difference. I think what a lot of people are thinking that it only applies to um it only applies to mock whatever maximum, but it's a plaintiff. So FBC has an argument that FPC has the arguments that it applies to the members, but we'll see. We'll see.
Christian constitutionalist says the whole for plaintiffs is such a disgrace when it comes to constitutionally protected rights. 100% totally agree. This is all bull. This is all garbage.
Yeah, what ammo currency is saying, when named plaintiffs include the whole organization, and that is what is up for debate here. There is a great case that it does apply to all of FPC, but yet the ATF can disagree and try to prosecute people. Then you will have to test that yourself. So, yeah.
Mm, wow, that's promising.
I know. It's like they're going to try to lessen it. I don't know. But
Yeah,
all right, guys, that is it. So yeah, I was gonna do
yeah.
another
If
pistol brace case, going over the government's response to the GOA case later on, but I'll do that later on. All right. And with
yeah,
that, we are out of
make
here.
sure a lot of people are coming in. A lot of people are like just coming in. Just go back and watch the video from the beginning. At least watch the
Yeah.
first like 15 minutes.
Yeah, the plaintiffs in the case got an injunction against the pistol brace ruling, but it applies just to the plaintiffs. But this sets up other cases in the future for a nationwide injunction that might apply to everyone. And there is a TRO that should be decided this week in the GOA case. So I would keep an eye on that. It might be some big news coming out about that, but we'll see. The government just filed their response to the TRO last night at midnight Central Time. So we will see what that says, but that is there's no original history, text, or tradition that they can use.
Yeah,
So I think this also violates the APA and a bunch of other stuff, but we'll have to see.
yeah. All right,
All right,
appreciate it, John.
follow Dark at DLD After Dark, please.
Yeah, especially right
He
now being banned for the third
he he,
time.
he had a second strike, so he's
Yeah.
walking the line, and also there is another channel, which is what is it?
It's youtube.com/DLDTV23, but it's a backup channel that I just created. I just went and like on another Wi-Fi on a different device. It just
You never
completely
know
set up
that
a new
someone else
channel.
owns it. He's just
Yeah,
hosting on there.
that's what I mean. I mean somebody else owns it. But yeah, check me out, DLD After Dark. I do a show when I'm not banned every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern. Have a bunch of guests on and discuss everything from freedom, firearms, independence, gun building, homesteading, prepping. I mean, everything, medical, everything you can think of. It's all freedom and like-minded. Like this stuff. But yeah, John, thank you for doing this, and make sure you follow John at John Crump News and John Crump
We're
Live
broadcasting in
if you're
Junk News, so I'm
here.
pretty sure.
You already do. But after the live ends, go and post a comment on the video because that obviously helps him in the algorithm a lot. And make sure you, even though he's not here, make sure you follow Flying Rich at Flying Rich and Flying Rich Firearms. Show him some love too.
My guys. All right, I'll see you guys later. Bye.
I'm